But, look, you gotta overcome your fears. When your foot wants to go backwards, just don't let it. Don't let it. It's like Stalin when he said to his troops, he said to his people, not one step backwards. Not one step backwards. And I'll tell you what, if he hadn't have said that, Russia would be speaking German right now. Really. It comes down to that. If you're... And, the people that stay in the foxhole, nobody won a war with their army in the foxhole. You got to get out of the foxhole, and I really wouldn't even let them make a foxhole because I don't want them to get comfortable. You're here to fight, you're not here to sleep. And we're not going to, in the old world. In the new world, don't worry about it. But I'm not saying we won't have fights going forward. I mean, there's going to be fights. Of course there's going to be fights. But they're not going to be fought the same way as they were. Aircraft carriers are going to be used for scuba divers to see the reef and what's going on in the aircraft carrier after we sunk it. But, it's just that kind of thing. And the fish like it. The fish like it as a home. And it's more beneficial for them than it is for us. So, I'm not saying we won't keep a few, but because they're good for getting around, during hurricanes and earthquakes and things where you need help quick, rescue, all that stuff. That's fine, no problem. And they'll be used for more of those terms. Police will not be used to arrest. You need police on the roads because you have a car accident, you get a flat tire, you need somebody to direct traffic and stuff like that, and get tow trucks and police and fire department and ambulance and all that stuff. And police have a reason, but the reason's going to change in a big way, in a big way. And fire department, I have nothing wrong with the fire department. Look, if you're willing to run into a burning building to save my ass, how can I come out of that building with you and say, you're a son of a bitch? No, you're the greatest guy in the world, and if I had $1 million, I'd give it all to you, But I have no problem with fire department, But and the ambulance people, they got to deal with people at their worst, at their worst, and they got to do it with a smile, and they got to be nice, You can't be punching out patients, even though you want to. So I give them props too, Cops have a problem with because their balls is a 6-shooter. Well, now it's a 9mm. They don't have balls; they have a 9mm, and that's the problem. The fire department, they don't have a 9mm. The ambulance guy, he don't have a 9mm, and they deal with all these people, and they don't have a 9mm. The cops, they can't even get out of their car to write you a stop sign ticket without a 9mm. Sure, I know there's a reason, but it's not a good enough one. They got no balls whatsoever. So when there's a fire, they point at the house and say, "There's the fire, there's the house," to the fire department so they can run in and get you. The cop's outside, directing traffic where he belongs. But I don't have no love for cops. If they had balls, I would. But look what they allowed to happen to me. No love for cops. And even if they save me, and I don't need them, please don't save me. You probably shoot me trying to save me, and then blame me for shooting me. So just stay away. Just stay away. Me and God got this. We really don't need you. So you're more of a hindrance than a help. We don't need you. Send the fire department. Send the ambulance. But stay away. But, I don't know. This message went crazy. It wasn't my usual.